Oh boy, yeah, we're racing. Good. Finally, we actually have some green flag race, and hopefully we'll stay this way. Yeah, fully three wide, no fuel saving. Logano, Byron, and Ty Dillon. But they're all racy right now. SVG actually in top 10. We'll see. We're really early. Half these cars are going to wreck out of this race. So, yeah, there's no going anywhere right now, though. I mean, it's a traffic jam. You just got to push and hope your line wins out. But with no one fuel saving, it's just a mess. So, there's that right there. Elliott and Briscoe trying to make that outside line work. Now Chastain slides up, back up to Van Gisbergen. And right now, just the inside line. Yeah, no one's going right now, so we're going to cruise around the high banks of Daytona. We're on lap 29, which I was really hoping that we would be over. That we would be on about lap 190 by now, but we'll see. We got a long way to go. And I've got all the time in the world. Let's take a look. Let's just pull up Twitter. Now Kyle Busch leading the middle lane, but no one really able to get much of a run going. Logano's fantastic at this type of track, so. Oh, now Busch to the bumper of Logano, outside lane getting a little bit of a run. And I think all that's going to do is allow Byron to do it now. Rowdy's going to slide up in front of Chase Elliott. The far outside lane's got some momentum. Oh, Busch. Oh, that's a crazy move this early in the race. Slide back to the middle. Oh, we have contact. But they both managed to hold on. Two of the best super speedway racers of all time in Logano and Busch. So, and now we're back to the bottom lane. Pied Piper of Daytona. So we have Corey LaJoie and Ty Dillon both on the podium right now. That's insane. Yeah, Busch was. I mean, Kyle's being aggressive, but I mean, we have 170 laps to run. This is stage one. Logano and now Ty Dillon back to the lead. Oh, no, 0-1 instead of 10. So this is Corey LaJoie out front at Daytona. What in the world? Okay, cool. We're going side by side. So Fox, I know I was reading an article today about them wanting to be more involved with side by side and encouraging their sponsors to go side by side for racing. So they do see the feedback. But we will find out if this is just a Daytona 500 thing or if we're going to get. You can't see much still, though. It's still just a pack, full throttle. Oh, that's an interesting combination at the top lane right there. Elliott and Cindric. See, it's so hard to predict the Daytona 500 because it is a good mix of upset drivers and these super stars from the biggest teams. Um, and looking at it, I will say it's kind of interesting that we're seeing people like Ty Dillon, Corey LaJoy running up front this early because typically all those upset picks are like Ricky Stenhouse a few years ago, Harrison Burton in the fall race last year. Ooh, Corey LaJoy. Oh, that he almost lived up to his reputation there. That's a late block to throw Logano. Now back down all the way down to Byron. As much as like I don't want to see it or anything, it would have been pretty funny if Corey LaJoy wrecked half the field from the lead. And now Logano will pass him on the outside. And LaJoy back down to the bottom. He's going to collect this run. Logano throws the block on the bottom lane. All three lanes, though, have some strength. So it's not like we've seen with the next gen at times where it's just we can't get three wide no matter how hard we try. It's just the two wide. They're able to get the three wide, and they've held it this way. And you have a lane that'll come and go, but it's not always been the top lane or the middle lane. I mean, even the bottom lane has come out at times. So, like right now, the middle lane is the strongest, but the top line is going to come back. That bottom line's going to come back. So, we will see. Yeah, no one's going right now, so we're gonna cruise around the high banks. Okay, just checking there. Audio issue, no audio issue. We're good on that front. I can't help but feeling that they're gonna probably wreck. They've been waiting all day to race, and Logano now Oh, and he's not going to be able to block us. Here comes. Well, no. That lane looked like the bottom lane was coming, but now Chase Elliott's going to be able to muscle Logano all the way back out in front of the pack all by himself. Now they're being called by the top line, Cindric. But Elliott there for a minute, it was almost like a two-car tandem. Was able to just push Logano away, and they got a solid car length ahead of the rest of the field. Well, Elliott now to the lead. Logano pushing on the top side. 26 to go left in this first stage. Here comes Busch and LaJoie on the bottom. Let's see if Elliott's going to abandon Logano or if he's going to go down to block. Honestly, if I'm Chase, I'd probably just stay in line. But that's why I'm not at Daytona right now. That's why I'm sitting at home in Georgia watching this and trying to comment on it. Now Kyle Busch, he's going to take the lead. Just riding right by, going up from that lower lane to that middle lane. Well, no, and Logano, once again, Logano and Elliott have something going here. So, oh, here comes Logano. They're going to switch. Logano's going to, oh boy, Logano in the middle, Busch down and low. And they're going to touch, and both drivers able to save it. That's the second time already that Logano and Busch have collided. And both of these guys are best in the world. Now, Byron pushing Busch. Logano goes low to block. And now the inside lane is running away with it for now. Looked like someone was heading to the pits. That might have been, or at least they pulled up, because I see Harrison Burton. That's who I thought it was. Or not Harrison Burton, excuse me, Josh Berry. We're going to go back to side by side. Oh no, that is a car that's leaking oil. That is AJ Allmendinger, I believe. It's one of the Colic cars. So it's either Zane Smith, or no, Zane Smith is it not? We call it their front row now. It's either AJ. It is AJ. Okay, I thought I read that correctly, and I thought I knew what his car looked like, but then I questioned myself and thought for some reason he was in the 41 or the 40. But nope, we're good. So AJ Allmendinger has a problem already, and we'll see if he can get around. I assume he'll be able to get around and everything. You just have to wonder if he was leaking oil at all, if that's going to cause NASCAR to throw a yellow. Middle lane's kind of deteriorated now. Busch stuck in that hole, but now SVG and Denny Hamlin are going to dip into the middle, so we're going to see if they can make something happen. Logano, Byron, Elliott, Briscoe, and Hamlin, your Cindric, Reddick, Chastain, Busch, your top 10. And here we go, SVG being pushed by Denny Hamlin. Now heading up the middle lane here at Daytona. Yeah, middle lane has definitely got the momentum right now, and that's where Byron and Logano go to block. SVG goes low. Now Elliott and Cindric. Logano blocks the high side. SVG's on the bottom lane, getting a push from Chase Briscoe. And now Logano riding right up the middle. He'll go kind of middle high, blocking both Byron and Elliott. And now Byron's going to go up the middle with the momentum, and he nearly 3 wide at the line for the lead. Now the middle lanes. Hamlin pushing Byron, but Elliott linked up once again with the back bumper of that beautiful Pennzoil 22 car. And they are able to muscle their way out front. Now returning back to the rest of the pack, Logano gets a push from Elliott. And right now, Byron a little squirrely on Hamlin's front bumper. And we're back to full racing. So as Fox comes in from the commercial break, obviously they're not showing any shots that are good. Justin Allgaier has gained 20 spots since the restart. Because I was thinking to myself, I was like, that might not be a great stat because we've had the weird pit stop strategy with the rain delay. Nope, that is correct. So since restart, Justin Allgaier up 20. Byron up to the back bumper as the inside lane is kind of broken away. Top 5 cars now. Bubba Wallace is going to get to the back bumper of Austin Dillon as these 6 cars have broken away a bit from the rest of the pack. Neither the middle or the top lanes have been able to... Cindric on the back bumper of Hamlin, squeezing in a spot that... There was maybe about an inch and he almost spins Chastain coming into the tri-oval, giving a punch, but Chastain manages to hold on. So no wreck so far. Only caution has been the rain delay. Bottom line has all the momentum right now, though, so... Michael McDowell started... Well, I think he came back around to pit. That was why he's in the back. But several cars right around the point where they maybe start losing the draft. So we'll keep an eye on that. 17 to go here in stage 1. Joey Logano still leads. So, not much else to say. Still, bottom line, just kind of riding around. They're not saving fuel, but they're not really racing either at the moment. I think they were very eager to race as soon as they came out, and everyone was very aggressive. But now you're starting to see come in. Now Corey LaJoie makes a move on the bottom. He's going to cut Ryan Blaney out of the draft, at least from that bottom side. Corey LaJoie is racing like he has nothing to lose, and in all honesty, he does not. So I could totally see. Corey LaJoie was already cut. Well, let's put it this way. Corey LaJoie last year was already kind of reckless. Before that, he really wasn't. He brought the car home in one piece most of the time. Was able to avoid crashes or crashing other people. But now... He's got that reputation of being a demolition derby driver. So, I don't know. He's riding around the top 10. Logano, Byron, Hamlin, Busch, and Keselowski, your top 5. Keselowski now making a move with Blaney and Stenhouse at the bottom. Logano goes to block. But if any two drivers know how to work together at a plate track, it should be these two. Keselowski to the bumper of Logano. And this is what we saw at times at these plate tracks last year, where the two RFK Fords would link up with the three Penske cars or the three Penske Mustangs and just ride off, because Keselowski's such a good plate racer. Buescher is really good himself. And then you've got Logano, Blaney, and Cindric, who can all draft really well with fantastic cars, typically. So, and they just typically have chemistry. And now we're going side by side again. I will commend Fox. They have not gone to a break at all, or a non side by side break during green flag racing so far. So I am. Now the outside lane. Like I said, all the lanes have really been. Whoa, Reddick gets a nice run up the middle. He'll pass Helio Castroneves. Really, like, Helio was standing still. .40 cars still in the lead lap here. AJ Allmendinger, the only exception, is he's out in the garage. So, or at least off. Gilliland now leads the inside line, being pushed by Larson Wallace. So we'll see if they have anything for Logano. Now, Logano has benefited from having some of the best pushers so far, whether that be Elliott, Byron, or Keselowski now. And he'll have Blaney ready for him as well. But now the outside lane's getting a little bit of a run. Gilliland, Blaney side drafting with him, trying to slow the momentum. Ooh, Stenhouse thought about trying to duck around Blaney, but that did not work. And honestly, I'd expect this top 3, or at least Logano and Keselowski, to probably go together if they do jump to the bottom lane. Okay, now, well, let's go to montage showing some of the shots from earlier in the day while we have green flag. See, those are shots that are cool. As someone who does like camera work and editing graphics for sports productions, like, those are cool shots. I really enjoy using them, but you don't need to use them during green flag action. Especially, or at least not at Daytona, where a wreck can happen at any moment. Now Blaney, Keselowski, and Logano have. Oh my goodness, yeah, Keselowski able to push himself and Logano an entire car length away from Blaney, who with Stenhouse and Bell have completely left the rest of the pack behind in the outside lane. So I'm not completely sure of the aero changes that have been made for this year's car at the super speedways, but you can definitely make some moves with just yourself and one partner. Yeah, they are fuel saving a little bit towards the back of the pack. So we are on differing fuel strategies. 6 to go here in stage 1. The Chevys, from what I've seen so far, have been good pushers, but none of the Chevys have really um, have led many laps. Byron led a few, Elliott led one or two, but it's mostly been Ford leading since we came from the rain delay. A little bit of Toyota in there before the rain delay with Briscoe. I think Wallace led a few. But in the draft itself, the Fords are fast. Yeah, not much going on. Like I said, these top 6 have broken away. The 3 Fords of Logano, Keselowski, Blaney, Stenhouse, and Bowman, and Chevys, and the lone Toyota being Christopher Bell in 5th. Now the bottom lane seems to be getting together a little bit more and has allowed Suarez to catch the rest of this 6-car breakaway. Oh, we have a spin. Is he going to go back up into the field? Switch to the camera angle. That is Zane Smith, and that's a broken toe link on that right rear. Lap 63, and Josh Berry has some major aero damage. We've got to put it back up and ready for our second caution of the day. So that should probably be it for stage 1. We'll see if Zane Smith was going to. I could have swore he broke a toe link on that back one, because that looked like, if you've ever done anything, let's take a look at it. So Zane Smith is behind Denny Hamlin. And yeah, just a stack up. Hamlin manages to keep it. He gets knocked towards the banking. And Zane Smith just was not ready for the stack up. Um, Hits Hamlin from behind. Hamlin manages to hang on the apron, but that shows the experience differential between some of these competitors. So Hamlin is the first to go on the banking. Zane Smith loses it by himself. He has a few seconds where he's fine, and then he completely loses it, gets loose, down on the apron, back up on the track, and he clobbers Josh Berry in the front left. They're saying Cindric's involved with this. I didn't see where Cindric, if there was any contact with the 2 car. Yeah, Zane Smith definitely, toe link is broken. Which, with the new damaged vehicle policy, that is not a death sentence anymore. You can actually work on it. So we'll see if he actually gets back in the race, but that is most likely the end of stage 1. How you doing, Grant? I see you in there. It wasn't Spendrick's fault, but he was still involved. So we are in a yellow, still in a yellow flag. Oh yeah, definitely Zane's fault. Chastain and Hamlin got stacked up there, but it was Hamlin got down on the apron because of the contact from Zane Smith. But Hamlin, because he's been driving these cars for almost 2 decades now, was able to hold on, while Zane Smith wobbles and just gets down on the apron, comes up, clobbers Josh Berry. So I think Josh Berry will be fine. I think that's just some aero damage they can probably fix. But he's not going to be fast in the draft, I don't think. But he should be able to stay out there and continue to race. Zane, we'll see with the toe link if that's able to be fixed or not. Do we have any predictions for who's going to win? I already picked mine. I think it's either going to be Ryan Blaney or Bubba Wallace, and there goes the house phone. So hopefully someone picks that up. And there it goes. Yeah, I see the bias in there. Keselowski's been fast. I haven't seen much of Buescher, but like I said, half the field's going to wreck. This race is always a crapshoot, but like we've said, actually having the experience of driving these cars makes it so you're able to take a little bit more contact without wrecking the entire field or wrecking yourself. So that will be the end of stage 1. Logano, Keselowski, Blaney, Stenhouse, Bell, your top 5. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I thought I saw either Buescher or Priest with having 3 RFK cars largely following the same paint scheme kind of style. It is difficult to see which one is which. So really nice looking race cars, though. Yep, Birmingham Stallions mentioned. Gotta love that. Protective Stadium is something else, and if you're not aware of what goes on in Protective, then I'm so ready for Braves baseball. Like, seeing that outfield wall every night, and I'm going to have an entire fleet of um, of just nuclear subs by the end of the season. So between RFK and Braves baseball, it's going to be a whole thing. How's the audio? I checked it earlier, but I think it's good. But this is about the fifth time I've done this stream now. Both due to the rain delay and then my internet went out one other time. So good, good. Yeah, I'll send a picture into the group chat of exactly what the setup is. It's a lot jankier than I wanted. I ended up having to set up on this wall instead of the wall over on that side. But we we make do with what we have. So, um, and honestly, I'll probably keep this setup kind of set up not completely 24/7, but come in here, try to make a few videos this week. I've been doing research for a few different videos that I want to do. I don't know. I sincerely doubt that you've watched any of the Four Nations Face Off, what the NHL is doing for All Star Week, besides what I've sent you, or what was going around this morning, with just amazing patriot propaganda, which I fully support when it comes to sporting events. Um, but I'm working on a how to improve MLB's All Star Weekend, using a similar format, and doing some research into the history of that game, um, and to make it actually competitive again. So I've been looking at some of the rosters that we could shake up while only including MLB players. So that really takes, like, Japan, for example, doesn't have very many players in the major leagues, um, because the NPB is so competitive. Um, it's not as good as the MLB, but there are players over there that can play high level Major League Baseball. So, um, like, trying to find a roster for Team Japan, or because, like, I do think that we might see the NBA do this, where you do, like, something like Team USA versus Team Canada versus um, maybe like France, and I think they'd have to use one of the Eastern European countries. Um, but I think we're going to see a lot of copycats. Oh, tied up on pit road. Cindric cuts off Ryan Preece. So, but not much changes at the front. Blaney swaps positions with Keselowski. And Bowman moves up to fourth above Stenhouse, but we'll see. But I'm working on something, because I think Major League Baseball might change the All-Star format given the success of the Four Nations to something, but I see no shot that they leave out Shohei Ohtani. Um, so, and then I'm working on another one that you know about already, which is just um, a schedule, like a dream schedule, taking out logistics and issues with permission and stuff like that, to give NASCAR a perfect schedule. So I think it's going to be 30 races long, at least in the regular season. Make some changes to the playoffs. We're going to do a preseason instead of just the Clash, and we're only racing on each speedway once. I'm unsure. I would make an exception because I really love the sports car circuit at Daytona. the Rolex 24 layout. And I think that we saw that that's a decent race. We haven't seen it in this car yet, but I can see that. But I think, just a sneak peek, I could see Sebring um, racing there as a second Florida date instead of two Daytonas and one Homestead. So, still waiting on stage two. Fox has to get its commercial breaks in. Eric Jones, okay. These segments to me are so interesting because I've noticed that, yep, there goes Kevin picking. Yeah, there's Kevin picking Joey, which is just hilarious. And yeah, Clint, no boring picks. They are both in the one's leading and the other's in the top three. Yes, obviously these are perfectly acceptable pre-race picks. What in the world are we doing? You can't just be like, I'll take the leader. Like, that's just bad broadcasting, guys. Which it is Fox, so I don't really know what else to expect. Ooh, that sucks for Allgaier. Allgaier's had a really fat Bush too. Bush and Allgaier having to do a pass through, or back to the rear at the very least. Allgaier passed like 23 cars or something like that on track, so he can make it up. There's so much time left in this race, but yeah, now we're about to see a whole nother like type of racing because they're all going to start saving fuel. Like last stage was relatively all out because they didn't have to make a pit stop. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if anyone really has much for Logano. I don't think Logano's going to win this race, but we will see. Like that's my hot take, Kevin Harvick. It's way better than your hot take. Neither are particularly good though. That's my all-time favorite camera angle as we come to the green flag. Green, green, green. And they're wrecking behind the wreck. Chastain involved. Allgaier, Keselowski, or Bush, Helio, Briscoe. A lot of fast cars in that wreck. I think a lot of these cars are going to be fine. But, oh, there's Jimmy. Do you think Jimmy ever gets tired of, like, racing? Because Every time he shows up to one of these things now, I don't think there's going to be a lot of damage on some of these cars. Herbst scrape of the ground. Logano, though, not in... Oh, yeah, Chastain's done. Yeah, that's a bit toe link. He might be able to get back out there. See how much bear bond you have? Let's take a look at the replay. So stacked up in the outside lane. The first one, yeah. Chastain did it. That's off of... Not Eric Jones. Yeah. Brad made it through. There, I think besides Chastain, maybe Riley Herbst. Ooh, yeah. Chastain friendly fire on the 91. I feel bad for Helio this weekend. He's come down. He's excited about running this race, and he's now been spun out twice. Which, that's NASCAR for you. Honestly, yeah, he was the first who really couldn't handle the stack up. And then he got spun from behind. But, I don't know. We'll see how much damage is to Kyle Busch's car, to the 8. But otherwise... Ooh. That was a hit for Chastain. First year of the next gen, that's a concussion. Bang, bang. Just a stack up crash. Of course, Cody Ware's involved because why? Who else would be involved? Oh, I didn't update. I didn't update the flag, guys. Should know at Daytona. I'm gonna be using that yellow one a lot, and that is the 4th caution, including the stage break. Well, actually, no, it's only 3 because the stage break was the same caution as the spin earlier, so SVG got screwed up. Riley Herbst, he's scraping the ground. Briscoe. I'm looking forward to Atlanta next week, though. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Also, my prediction came true. We see Chastain basically Dale Earnhardt himself, and now we're riding the Dente. I'm a little bit behind y'all right now because I'm streaming on Fubo plus the delay. It's set to the minimum delay, and still. Oh, Grant, you did not see this earlier. I don't know Jonathan, if you were a big like Jimmy guy. Um, Let me come back in here. So, no, did it die? So something about this port just burns up my cameras. So I'll take a that. Hold up. I gotta go back. I gotta come back in here and remove this and put it back in. Okay, it just turned off. That's weird. But it is what it is. Okay. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, I don't really care how this one looks as much. But, so, I got this that I didn't bring out for the earlier stream, but now that I reset everything, it's like a back-to-back championships Jimmy. Um, and you can see here the Lowe's Racing banner. Full focus, yeah. So, this was given to me by an uncle who knew I loved NASCAR, but did not know that I really did not like Jimmy Johnson because he was so good. Um, but he since passed, but he was a manager at Lowe's. And this was just given to like all Lowe's employees that had been there for like however long, however amount of time. And so I saw it on the shelf and I was like, yeah, no, that needs to go in the setup. Never opened it, but I know you're a big Jimmy guy. So I wanted to take a look at that. So we're going to put that right back in front of our Fighting Columbus Cottonmouths. Remove. And there goes a bunch of things that I stacked up. It's all good. I can fit. So if I get an entire Goodyear NASCAR tire, if you want to give that to me, I will fit it in the set. I promise to you. I don't know if the wall will hold it. Of course, Joey. I want credit for this because I did say Joey Logano would not win this race. Though it's going to be my luck he's going to drive all the way through the field with a half-dead engine. I've played a lot of. It's one of the bucket list items, Daytona for sure. Um, I think I don't know if Daytona, because I think Daytona is really cool, but Talladega and Daytona are so big, it's so hard to actually see everything at the track. You can't. So you're just watching on TV for half of it anyways. It's like a road course. So like I think my like bucket list tracks for NASCAR. Probably Bristol for sure. I've been looking at tickets for like when the Braves go up to Bristol this year, um, and we'll see if that happens. Because tickets are still pretty cheap because there's just so many tickets. But and then I think the other one would be Darlington. Even though like neither of those are like the best track for this new next gen car, but like if I was going just strictly, I think the Coke 600 would be fantastic. Like any race that besides like that, just for pure viewing experience, not necessarily thinking about how important each event is. That or maybe the fall or the spring Kansas race, as we are about to go green again. Of course Cindric is fine in front of Priest and Busher. I don't think we're done wrecking though anytime soon. I don't think they're gonna settle down. Ooh, big run now for Elliott on the outside, being pushed by Gilliland. Busher's going to block, and he's going to go down to try to challenge Cindric. Priest and Cindric with Gragson on the bottom. Busher. Now Cindric goes back up top. Oh, looks like Allgaier might have run over something. We'll see. Hopefully he's not cutting a tire, because that's a really bad place to cut a tire. He is in the middle pack. Where's Cole Custer at? Because Cole Custer is, I assume, all the way in the back. Because it's, Cole Custer. But if he could get linked up with Priest and Busher and Keselowski, that might be a problem. Because the Haas team is basically a fourth Roush. And there they go, linked up. Elliott's been one of the best pushers all night. Penske Fords are just so fast. Ooh, Cindric goes to block the middle lane. Gets swirly. We'll see if he's... McDowell will get to his bumper. So we'll see if Gragson gets a run. Still leads by Ryan Preece. I thought that was some clever pick to win the race, but I guess not. Reddick right now. It's still so early. We're not even halfway through. I need to do the 36 for 36. I'll put it in later. I'll surrender Daytona. See, right now they're just fuel saving. So we'll see. Right now, Noah Gragson in the lead. Now Cindric. Priest is going to get a run right here off of the bumper Bush heading into 3. See, this is excellent for photo shoots. Like, this is... Even though they're not really racing, which is the problem with this next-gen car, we're about to see Logano get lapped, which is hilarious. Look, imagine Logano just comes around and wrecks the entire field because he doesn't know when to get over. Because they're going to catch him here. Ooh, McDowell. See, the thing about Cindric at these types of tracks is that Cindric is always really, really fast at the drafting tracks. And I probably should have. Did I pick? Yeah, I did pick. I picked all the Penske cars except for Logano, which looks really nice now. But caution. It's like the meme of Jack Sparrow running away from the army. That was Logano there coming in. I've got radar pulled up, if necessary, for ready to go on stream. But I am knocking on this solid wood that we don't have to pull that up again. I mean, I don't think it matters. If anything, I think that was probably just to keep Logano from killing half the field. Like, I see zero chance that he's going to be able to come back and win the race. He just doesn't have the engine. I wonder if... now that's concerning if you're Ford, because so many of the Fords have the same used Penske either engineering or engines, and now if Logano's having an engine problem, you start to wonder about at least the other two Penske cars. Barry's out of this race, so it doesn't matter for him. He's got bigger fish to fry. But then the front row guys as well. RFK makes their own stuff, so Grant, I know for you that's a good thing. Joey's pulling around like he's in a two-cylinder go-kart. Bubba, is he going to stay out? Yeah, Bubba's going to stay out. Okay, that's interesting. I do understand, though. I do feel that Chevy's going to probably win this race, even though they are by far the slowest manufacturer. But that's always what happens. Is Chevy, it feels like, always seems to win this race. At least when they don't deserve to. Whoa. I was about to ask, who was driving... We just interviewed Truex, and he's already on pit road, but no, that's Briscoe. I do like. I went through about an hour to make the ticker work in the right hand corner or the right hand side. I wanted to stylize it, or other side. It's mirrored, so over here. But I I wanted to stylize it. Like I had this whole thing made and everything, but NASCAR, the way that their data works, they won't give you the data, and run it. They constantly are changing their website algorithm to prevent you from scraping the data off of it. Um, so I tried during the rain delay to find a way around scraping it. I was reading articles. I was um, trying to figure out how to do it, and I never made it work. So we're with the white bread normal NASCAR leaderboard, but it's better than nothing, and it updates every 30 seconds. So for Daytona, that's actually rather useful. Somewhere like Martinsville, where you're running a lap in less than 30 seconds, that's not necessarily a good enough time, but it works, and I don't have to touch it. Um, so I am a bit handicapped. Like I can't take that little white column, so that's why it's off on the right. In order to make it actually big enough to so you could see the top 10, I had to be able to put it off the right. So there's about more than half of this graphic is hanging off the screen in my view, and you just can't see it because this program that I'm using to stream is just it's not the most user friendly. I want to probably just completely redo this design. I think it's okay, but we'll see. For as jank as this stream got, with having a tornado come through last night, waking me up, and then spending the entire morning cleaning up what was probably a 40 or 50-year pine tree out of the driveway. So it works. I'm not complaining. Got some of the cool stuff up. I don't have near as much NASCAR merchandise as I would like. Like I grew up loving racing, but I can't really have a bunch of it in the house. Like I've mentioned before, my I think Trackhouse is going to be fantastic next weekend. Like either like Suarez statistically, even though he won last year, his best track is um, Atlanta Motor Speedway. Though I do think Chastain's going to be right there as well. Probably battling with the Penske and Hendrick guys. Okay, 44 left here in stage 2. And there goes Chase Elliott to the lead. If he can clear... Whoa, big move by McDowell, making the third lane. He's going to link up with his ex-front row, his old car, now driven by Todd Gilliland, on the top lane. And now Gilliland is getting a nice push. He's going to push McDowell even with Elliott and Cindric. I grew up in a split household, so my dad liked Junior. I was a big Junior fan, but I also liked the drivers like my mama liked. So my mom was a big Tony Stewart and Carl Edwards fan, and still one of my absolute favorite cars ever. And I think this is because growing up here in Columbus, where it's located, but the Aflac 99 that I believe that's the one that Edwards, that Keselowski put in the catch fence at Talladega. Oh no. Power's flickering again. Um, yeah, the black one with the duck on the hood, where it like I think it's the L in Aflac or the F in Aflac is the Aflac duck, is one of the best paint schemes ever. I love that. That's always going to be synonymous with Carl Edwards to me. A lot of other people talk about his Office Depot or the Fastenal ones, and even though my dad worked for Fastenal for a little bit, and I used to have a Carl Edwards Fastenal autograph that got lost when a bunch of stuff happened. I can still find it somewhere, I'm sure. I always remember that Aflac car. So, but yeah, we used to. It was 8, 20, and then later 88, 14, and 99. So okay, so unfortunately for everyone, Logano is had gave his crew a thumbs up. So that's awful for human race as a whole. I liked Gordon and I liked Gordon. Jimmy, I think I went back and forth on a lot. Like there were times I really hated Jimmy Johnson um, because he would steal. Like it felt like, especially once Junior got to Hendrick, there were years where like everyone on Hendrick would win except for Junior, and Junior would have his chances, and he would just not be able to close the race. Um, I still remember. I can't remember the year, but it was during that gigantically long winless streak where Junior coming out of turn 4 at Charlotte and runs out of gas just for Harvick to come up and win it. And I liked Kevin Harvick. Um, like kind of my guys, like I said, were Elliott. I liked Casey Kane a bit. So Casey Kane Friday is always a fun time to celebrate. But and then Kevin Harvick, Stewart, Edwards. You know, yeah, this front. What a shove by Todd Gilliland. Not going to be enough to clear Cindric though. Now Gragson to the lead on the bottom. See, I didn't have many feelings towards Kenseth. Besides having like some of the best paint schemes, because everyone wants to talk about the DeWalt 17, but that the Best Buy 17, that he won one of his 500s in, that scheme is so good. Like they don't make them nearly that cool anymore. There are not a lot of teammates hooked up right now, though. Like everyone's kind of separated. You have some like kind of teammates. Like you have the alliance between, or like, well, no, McDowell I forget's driving a Chevy this year. So him and Todd obviously have a lot of squeezed it up at the top. Okay, neither of you were on for this. I gave a hot take earlier, and I think a stream I deleted. The best Chase Elliott scheme that he's run like in the last few years that he continues to run is the Kelly Blue Book scheme with the baby blue. That's the best one. Apparently, a lot of people hate that scheme, and I don't know why. Though I do think the Napa scheme is cool. I think it was way better back in like 2020 when it was about an even number of blue, an even level of blue and white. I think they've kind of the Coca-Cola 9's cool. I like the Kelly. Like I don't know, the Kelly Blue Book one is so unique. See, this is why it's a hot take. Is like I understand that the Kelly Blue Book one is not anyone's favorite, but it's my favorite of Chase Elliott's schemes. Like I can't pull a Kevin Harvick and say hot take Joey Logano is going to win this race from after he led 40 laps. Honestly, too good on Fox for only doing side by side during green flag rounds. The only thing I have a problem with is how they come back from these commercial breaks. They come back with like B-roll footage they shot before the race, and that's all cool. But you need to do that coming back from a full commercial break, because otherwise it takes us away from regular racing. What in the world is this commercial? This commercial is quite disturbing. That makes me never want to do any, like, buy any Coffee Mate product ever. Okay. See, they're not really even racing right now, though. It's just fuel saving. Like, and I enjoy this, because I think there's some strategy to it, but Elliott might be the best pusher, though. I think that Chase. I don't think Chase is going to win this race, but I could see him pushing the winner to the win. Raw, $100 billion to. Well, shoot, he'll build submarines. Because, like, I was going to say, like, Raytheon, but that's planes. Yeah, I know. That's why you can't build a sim rig right now. Well, that's why you'd be sleeping on. That's why you can't sleep on the couch, is because you have 3 nuclear submarines in the living room. I can't shake the feeling, though, that Cindric is about to just dump Priest right in front of the field. As we are 1 lap now to halfway. It's never the first half of the Daytona 500 that's like cool though. It's always the like last 50 laps of this, and I can watch them go around. Ooh, Cindric. It is interesting to me though that the bottom lane. Well, no, I guess it has the same amount as the top lane. It's just the middle lane has some stragglers. Ryan Priest. I had Bowman in my garage, and then I decided I didn't want to waste the pick on him. Or I went back between him and Gilliland and Cindric. So I think I made the right decision so far with Cindric, but we'll see. Um, I didn't want to waste a Hendrick car though on a plate track. Also, I'm unsure about how that works. How do y'all know how the garage in the fantasy works? Like, can you just swap it out for one of your starters if you need to, or? Like, I'm fine right now. I think there's gonna be some wrecks that balance everything out. So I think the ally scheme this year, a lot of people didn't like that they took the purple off the hood. I think that black looks fantastic on Alex Bowman's car. It just looks fast. Oh my goodness, yeah, he is. I want to see the rear view camera from Cindric with Elliott giving him a push. You're just going to see right up his radiator. Woo, Cindric. I know you're just trying to side draft, but we're just past halfway, buddy. Oh, yeah, no, Cindric's been loose the whole race. Loose is fast, but it's going to cost somebody by the end of this. I just hope we don't end under caution. That's like my one wish. Like, obviously, I would like to see a driver I like win, but I would much rather actually race to the checkered. Because we haven't had that in like 5 years. You think Rizzler's still out at the track, or is it past his bedtime? Like, he's 8. So, oh, it's only 7:47 on the East Coast. So he's got some time, and I don't know where they're from. They could be from literally anywhere in the world, but I know they're probably Boca Raton or New Jersey. The child, I feel like, was grown in a lab to be a social experiment. The amount, like, just an insane variety of people at the Daytona 500 this year. President Trump, the Rizzler, and Shaq. Like, that's the start of several jump. That's the start of several. He walked into a bar joke. Hot take, not NASCAR right now. This guy right here, and I know I'm biased, but Brian McCann should be, I don't know if he should be a Hall of Famer, but he should have stayed on the ballot. Because it's like all the numbers, definitely. You think Trey Fortnite's out there right now watching this? Yeah, I saw that. I'm really wondering with some of Snit's opening press with some of the stuff he said to the media down in Northport, if we may see Profar get a few reps at short, because that was what he came up as, and like I don't want to mess with it, but at the same time I feel like he is going to have insane chemistry with Ozzy, personality wise, and they're both from Curacao, and they've been friends for a while, so I don't know. Obviously, that's a bridge you don't even have to cross until Acuna's back. And I think Acuna could probably play opening day, but they're not going to let him. Yeah, Pro 4 came up as a shortstop. So I also now with like the weird situation that Boston has signing Bregman, I wonder if Alex Anthopoulos calls Boston and was like, "Do you want to get rid of Von Grissom?" Because I still think there's something there. Obviously, for the one for Chris Sale, like that's an awesome deal. But I wonder if that's a piece that AA might go back after. Like, and his value is so low right now, and there's nowhere for him to start, and there's prospects behind him in the Red Sox organization as well. So, I mean, I think he's getting traded. Whether that's back to the Braves is a whole other issue, but it kind of depends on how much they trust Trevor Story, which they could trade Story instead. You know, Logano's coming. Logano's gotta. Suarez, though, I mean, honestly, like if he's fifth, Suarez is really not good at most of the plate tracks outside of Atlanta. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. Keselowski's already back up to 15th, though. Do you guys know that there's only 30,000 people that live in Prosper, Texas? Honestly, I could see either Busher or Chase pushing somebody else to the win because I think they both are fantastic. Their cars, for whatever reason, tonight are seem to be better pushing a teammate rather than necessarily leading. Oh, SVG, you better get out of the way, buddy. He just drifts all the way back. Yeah, Busher's got to run here. They're gonna come pull up even with Cindric out of turn into turn four. The fact that there are multiple there's like four Monster Energy or three at least Monster Energy cars in this field is awful. Though I am ready like for the Monster Energy versus Red Bull to be back. And I do think that Zilich and SVG at the Roval are probably going to trade some paint with Reddick and maybe even Ty Gibbs. So that's going to be fun. Yeah, you got. Oh, I thought that was Logano. I'm so used to seeing just that bright yellow and just assuming it's Joey. It's not, though. I'm thinking though, if you can get Joey and Brad hooked up in that third lane, they may come all the way back up. Though I'm kind of with some of these guys, just like let's drift back to the back. I don't think we're gonna go full 17 laps without bracking. Okay, so that's gonna be McDowell and Reddick, I assume, or it might be Gibbs with Herbst. Yeah, it's Ty Gibbs and Herbst pushing Gilliland in the outside lane. So we're going to go back 3 wide probably for the remainder of this stage. You know, Reddick's in the monster, but it's the like yellow um, on black rather than the green. So. And here we go. Yeah, I see Reddick. He's back in the yellow. Yeah, we're gonna have we'll be racy now that we're coming up on the end of the stage. That I like stage racing. I know a lot of people don't, but I think it just rewards you for racing, for being in the top 10 all race. And the super speedways, I think it absolutely rewards you for being aggressive. Rather, because I remember back before this that they would it was a legitimate strategy to ride in the back the entire time to avoid the wreck. And but now, I mean, I do think like one of these cars in the top 15 is probably going to win this thing. Outside of like maybe like Keselowski or Logano, coming all the way back up. Maybe Busch because he's still in it. But I think that I like stage racing. I really do. Yeah, Penske. The only ones who can hang with Penske hooked up like that is probably going to be RFK, but I think it's going to have to be Keselowski's. 6 pushing Busher with maybe Priest involved in order to actually stop it. Because, oh my goodness, they're so much faster than everybody else. With Elliott pushing, though, let's see if, because the inside or middle lane's going to get a run at some point. Let's see if Elliott hops ship. What a move by Ryan Blaney. Like, good grief. Oh, Zane Smith. you better move, buddy. Yeah, get on the apron. That's the right course of action there. I think once we get like closer to the end of this race, I will probably go into like full commentator mode. But for now, it's just such a long event, and we've been wrangling multiple times now. Um, Plus, I'm talking still now, but up until earlier today, my voice was killing me from doing 2 games this weekend commentary for hockey. So we'll see what the owner and the boss thinks about that. I think I did good though, so we'll see. Man, Lacano's already knocking on the door of the top 10 again. And he's going to start that bottom lane back up. Oh, no, not yet. I have like I don't like Joey. That is a good looking race car. And I did not like the Traveler Whiskey Junior Motorsports 40 when they first debuted it, but on track, it's one of the best looking cars. Oh, there goes Joey. Is anyone going to come out with him? Nope, he's just going to make a move. There he goes. He's going to push Busher now. They're able to make moves. Like, that's different than what's been the last few years with this package. So. Ooh. Oh, stack up in the middle. Everyone held on to it. That's a good bunch of super speedway racers, though, in that middle lane with Logano, Busher, Bubba Wallace, and Ryan Stenhouse right together. Unfortunately, like, they're chasing down just a stack of Cindric Blaney, Elliott Gilliland. Like, that's going to be a tough one to run down either way, but. I didn't even notice Riley Herbst was back in this after. How funny would that be? Riley Herbst wins the Daytona 500 after everyone knows that he bought his ride at 2311. Because like you have to wonder like how long is the 35 gonna be the number? Yeah, no, it's really been Busher and Elliott have been the best two pushers tonight. Like they've been able to almost two-car tandem at times. A little bit with Blaney doing that with either Cindric or Logano, but Elliott like had Logano an entire two-car lengths out in front of the field. And I think Busher probably has that same quality of car. We'll see down the stretch, though. I will say, everyone better hope and pray that the 2, the 12, and the 22 don't hook up, like all three in line, because that would be a problem. Because I don't think there's no other teammates that are close enough together in numbers, in mass, to actually um, do that. Because Suarez is completely on his own up there. Well, he's dropped back now, but I was going to say the Trackhouse guys, 3 of them are either out of this race or just turning laps. And then Keselowski's not close to Busher, and Priest dropped back a good bit already, too. So, like, and I don't know if the Hendrick cars are going to have anything for them. Because I like Elliott and Bowman, sure. Byron has been fast, but I don't trust Larson at a plate track, so. Ooh, okay, are you going to start the third lane, buddy? Yep, here comes Keselowski. Let's see, and yeah, just it's like deploying a parachute at times with these cars. You just can't make a third lane unless you have a bunch of cars going with you. That actually may be that might be possible if you could get like Bubba with like Riley Herbst. Reddick is fallen back a bit, but like hook them up with Hamlin and Bell, maybe Eric Jones. That could do something, but I don't see anyone being as fast if the 3 Penske's can get together. Yeah, could you imagine Denny pushing his three cars to 1, 2, 3 at Daytona? Like, I think the France family might order the drone strike immediately. 3 to go here in stage 2. Buscher's going to get a run here. It's so hard though because that middle lane is so well put together. At least the like top 4 or 5 of those. Yeah, Bowman does not have nearly as good of a car as the other leaders, and you can tell. Like he's probably got a solid like top 15 car, but I think like Logano, Cindric, and then maybe like Elliott, Bush, or Blaney are probably your top 5 fastest, and then maybe something. We'll see what Hamlin and maybe like Briscoe have to say about that. But I think that those are probably your fastest cars tonight, and Bowman is just not in that same class. Byron has not been the same since the sun went down fully. So, final lap to the white. We'll see if we can actually run a full stage. Well, no, we did wreck on the first lap of this stage, so it would not be a full stage with no cautions. Here comes Bowman. Good run from Buscher. Cindric, getting swirly in that outside lane. Blaney's going to make a move. He's going to probably try to pass his teammate here. That's a big playoff point. That would have won him the championship last year. Or would have helped to win him the... Ooh, boy. Now, he pushed his team out really far ahead. He's going to get a run coming into the tri-oval here. Blaney... Nope. Blaney wins it. Good. Yeah, that was a really nice move. Just pushing Cindric so far out that he could not, that he didn't have enough momentum to block the rest of the field. See, I really wish, and I know you don't feel the same way about this, I really wish that NASCAR leaned into Ryan Blaney, marketing wise. Because I think that he could rise to that same level that someone like maybe not Junior or like Jimmy Johnson. Well, not necessarily Jimmy Johnson, but like some of those really popular drivers did. I think he has the personality, and he's good. That's the important thing. Like Blaney is legitimately a really good driver. Like he gets hate because he's the Penske teammate, but of Logano, but he's fantastic. We're gonna look back in a few years, once like Logano and Keselowski retired, and we're gonna look back and say, "Wow, Penske had Blaney, Keselowski, and Logano at the same time, and really didn't do much of anything with it." So, like I think they won one championship with Joey at that time, the first of Joey's championships, but still. It's been a relatively clean race. Like outside of, and my phone's blowing up because of course it is. Truck Series is 1:30 next weekend on Saturday, and then 5. The Truck Series is way better than the Xfinity Series in New Atlanta. Like, Xfinity, for whatever reason, those cars suck at this format. And one, the drivers in the lower series just don't have the talent to race in like the cramped confines of like what a track used to, or like a basically it's what Daytona and Talladega used to be, except it's way more cramped. It's awesome. It's by far my favorite track on the circuit. See, yes, I like the Xfinity Super Speedway package, but it doesn't work at Atlanta. Like they don't run the Super Speedway package at Atlanta anymore. Um, and they run it at Indianapolis, but they don't run it at Atlanta. Like it's a very weird kind of thing. I will say, Saturday is going to be fun because they're going to wreck a lot, and and I don't have to drive home that day, so I will enjoy it very much. I got to get with you too about whether or not I'm going to meet you at the track or I'm going to drive all the way up first and then come back down, ride with either you or Jonathan to the race. Okay, yeah. I think that's what I was thinking. Like, let's all meet up together at the house first. It's interesting for me. Bush is going to come out here pretty. Bush will be probably in the top 5. That'll be interesting. Yeah, that way we're just not all paying for parking and everything. Yeah, that'll be much easier too. And then, like I said, it allows, like Brock was mentioning earlier, it allows the guys who want to drink the ability to drink. Um, I'm driving past, like, I think I'll have to, I won't actually drive past Atlanta Motor Speedway. Um, so, but it is going north to go come back south. So, I'll wake up early. I'll be, I don't know. I'll share. I don't care. Like the owner of the team gave me some interesting alcohol. So it's like Lipton hard iced tea. So I'm not gonna open that 12 pack up until um, we get there, because that is like peak NASCAR, incredibly terrible alcohol Xfinity truck race type thing, in my opinion. So yeah, we just got like a shipment of it at the Riverdales, and so he had like 10 boxes. And he's like, "Yeah, you helped out last minute, going to Athens. So, here's one. He asked me if I was old enough to drink, so I was flattered by that. And then, he was like, "Yeah, here's this. Go have fun." And I was like, So hopefully we'll have something more come out of it. I think I did great this weekend, both in terms of my production skills in Athens and then like commentating. Um, I heard nothing but good things from everyone I talked to. I just haven't talked to the people who actually make decisions yet. So I'm hoping something more comes out of it. Because I do enjoy working there. I think the people are all cool. And it'd be cool to have a stable job actually working for a sports organization while being able to do stuff like this on the side and grow the brand. Yeah, and I appreciate like you and Jonathan and all the boys having my back. Um, there was only like one real like hateful comment, and I saw it this week. Like I wanted to look back through it, but they already deleted the live chats, so I won't have a chance to. Um, because I want to see like I want to see one. I want to see the funny things that got said, and then I want to see like some of the negative things because there is some legitimate criticism that you can make about what I do. Um, but um, nothing. Just like that, it was unwatchable because of the commentary. Which, yeah, sure. I mean, you can always watch it on mute. It's but like our cameras in the Civic Center malfunctioned badly. It's not the camera operator's fault as much as they get blamed for it on our live chat. Like it's the Civic Center. We've been asking for over. I've worked there now for 2 months, and basically for the second weekend I worked there, we've been asking the Civic Center to rewire one wire for us across the entire arena, and because I know that's the problem, because the away stream runs off a different cord most of the time, and it's fine. Um, But so the cameras were flashing, which so I brought a webcam. Luckily yesterday, and that's why we did it. So it looked like from ants. But everyone's like, I can't see anything. Oh no, I can't tell what's going on in the slightest. And I was like, yes, this is what I see. So and so after I told him like I'm seeing exactly what you're seeing. You have the same angle I have. Like 'cause it was just a webcam that showed the entire ice from like the bird's eye view that I get in the Civic Center. Um, and everyone's like, "Oh wow, well yeah, he's good." But no, there was it was mostly really positive comments. I was very happy with how well it was received, especially on the second night. I think a lot of people were just worried about my boss, which I last time I talked to him, I haven't talked to him today. He's still sick, so as of right now, I guess I'm going back to Athens if he's not better, and we'll see if I call the game in Athens. It kind of just depends on what the owner has to say. It's not even like it's some. There are some really good employees that work for the actual Civic Center, like Dennis, for example. One of the sweetest people you'll ever meet. Does his job is a huge help to us, but like getting anything done because it's run by the Columbus city government is awful. Like it's legitimately like hurting cats and pulling their teeth at the same time. So Jimmy Johnson in sixth place. Could you imagine? Could you imagine Jimmy Johnson wins the Daytona 500 in the year of our Lord 2025? Like, he's not going to, but it would be fun. Uh, yeah, probably. Um, I gotta see something. I think one of my webcams will work pretty well with my phone. I just gotta make sure it's compatible, and I mostly want that for the microphone. I've got some adapters coming in for microphones that were supposed to be here already though, so I'm running just straight off of computer audio, and I have this here because it makes you look more professional. Um, and I've noticed that like you can fool people into thinking the audio quality is better just by having a microphone here. So but no, I'll try to film something at Atlanta Motor Speedway, even if it's just like a race review that comes out Monday. Um, Now Larson pushing Bush really hard. Well, the outside lane is just my picks in the first three rows. So back up to the third lane, Dylan pushing Elliott. Briscoe behind his Bass Pro Shop friend, but not teammates. Bass Pro Shop's so weird to me. Like, they sponsor so many different drivers, completely different teams and manufacturers and everything. That was the best move, honestly. Blaney getting shuffled out of the draft a little bit so he could just fall back to Cindric. Though I do think they're going to be faster if Blaney's pushing Cindric rather than vice versa. See, All Out doesn't hit the same as Crank It Up, I have to say. Even watching on like 2 volume to avoid copyright issue, it doesn't hit the same. And that was like the only thing that made Fox better than NBC. It's ever since their good commentators started retiring and getting old. We're still yellow. I needed to reset the graphic. I'm used to having a production person to do all this stuff. If I'm talking on camera, I'm getting spoiled. Blaney and Bush to the lead. They're gonna come across the. See, I don't claim for it to be healthy or anything, but like, it's better. I've fully switched. That is like, it's a good thing he's doing really good work, but at the same time, that is objectively really funny. It's awful, but yes. But what I was saying is, I don't claim they're healthy or anything, but it's Dr Pepper Zero sugar things have gotten me basically completely off of actual sugar drinks. So I'm happy about that. Going to the gym twice a week, and then working my butt off at work, carrying 100-pound objects sometimes up gigantic flights of stairs for a building that was made in the early '90s. So we're doing good. I'm not losing weight, but I'm down a shirt size and like two pant sizes. So like I don't know. It's I'm in better shape than I've been for sure. Um, so that's pretty much been how I've felt this year. Like my goal was I want to do some like more content creation and actually stick with it this time. And so that's why I actually went through the work of clearing out studio space and doing all that, and then like that was a creative and professional goal. And I'm dressing better. It still bothers me that when we went up there to Atlanta last time or to Rome, I was the only one who left my jacket in the car because I just didn't want to get it dirty. And then immediately, of course, we take our pictures because that just always seems to happen. Um, but no, I've been dressing better, been going to the gym. I'm trying to better myself in all areas. We'll see how much. Like I said, I'm very excited with like this week was a really good professional opportunity, and I just hope something actually comes of it. I think the office really likes me. Whether or not anyone who can actually make decisions likes me enough to spend more money to retain me or hire me is a whole other thing. Okay, I might take it back. I mean, Cindric's decent at pushing as well. Though I do think that the winning combo for Penske, if they don't get Logano back, is going to be Blaney pushing Cindric here. I could really see Bubba winning this though. I had a feeling that was my pre. That was like the pick I had about Friday night was that Bubba Wallace was going to win this. Um, that's an underrated thing. Like if something happens to Cindric or they get separated, Blaney Wallace or Blaney Bubba and Chase are all like really good friends, and they all have really strong cars. So I could see I could see them working well together if they had to. Whether the manufacturers let them do that is a whole other. Did I say something that I didn't realize? Like, is there something I said that was a little bit out of pocket? Um, I I did well to avoid that on air. Big one will happen with 13 to go. So 187. Oh, fuel families. Okay, I'm I am so incredibly just I don't know. I don't want to say exhausted, but just I've been staring at a screen a lot these past few days. Um, Staring at a live chat and everything. And so that went right over my head. I just like, oh, feed. Yeah, it would feed families. Feeling families. What is this? Tyreek Hill? Ian Anderson coming into. Yeah, that's a good question. Where in the world did Byron come from? I was gonna say I was gonna give Ian Anderson his praise, and I think he's gonna come back really strong. But yeah, that's the better question. Where in the world did Byron come from? See, y'all are ahead of me, and that scares me a little bit because I see Austin, and I'm fully expecting either Dylan or Cinder to wreck half the field coming into the triangle. Also, how funny would it be if the first win for Legacy Motor Club was Jimmy Johnson, of all people? Because it wasn't Legacy yet when Eric Jones won a few years ago at the Southern 500, right? Because he didn't win last year, and last year was the first year of Legacy. So, or no, this is the third year of Legacy. That's my bad. Hey, if nothing else, this is gonna help the algorithm. Just like you two just sticking in chat, because my view duration is just insane. So, hopefully that'll do really well for reaching the algorithm. Though trying to put like really good effort into this, but like I don't care necessarily if it um, takes off right away. Still side by side. Fox gets a lot of hate. They've been side by side for the entire race, um, as long as we're in green flag, which they had 4 hours of rain delay to get out all their ads, so that's fine. But hopefully, it's like this for all the races this year, not just the Daytona 500. Or remember, Cindric won the 500 a few years ago from by leaving Blaney out to dry. Like both of his wins have come at the expense of Ryan Blaney either his car failing him or Cindric being a terrible teammate. So, as the crowd goes right by the Shrek car of Zane Smith. Anyone but five guys, you know. Anyone but five of the best super speedway racers can win this race. See, I don't understand. Like, what do you have against Hamlin? Besides him being like he is wrecked your favorite driver at some point, but like everyone's done it. I guess if you're like a diehard Larson fan, I could understand it because Hamlin and Larson have the thing. But Hamlin is like what the sport needs. I just wish Kyle Larson was as outspoken as Hamlin was, instead of saying just the one word. Like, it would be really good for NASCAR if the best driver, which I don't even know if Larson is, like, I desperately want a true IROC International Race of Champions between, like, because Kurt Busch went there this year. And it's like, that is not the best American driver. Like, because I'm not sure, because I think you could really put Christopher Bale or Tyler Reddick in the same category as Kyle Larson in terms of pure talent. They just don't have the accolades so far to back it up. Well, F1 is not as much about the driver as much as it is about like the team. There's zero parity. There was more parity this year, and there still wasn't very much parity. I will say this: I think if you swapped rides, if you gave Verstappen the five car at like Homestead or Charlotte, I don't think he's doing better than Larson is doing if you give him the Red Bull at like Spa. Because I think Larson's just a better, like, versatile driver. I think he's the most versatile driver in the world. But still, yeah, we still have to do green flag pit stops. That's going to be interesting. That's when you're going to have a wreck. The answer is because Sergio Perez is, like, it does come down to the driver a little bit, but, like you said, there was way more parity this year in Formula One than there's been. in a long time. But how do y'all feel about this movie, though? The F1 Brad Pitt movie? Because Daytona is in this ad. So I assume it's, like, right there. I assume it's because it's... Apparently he's coming from IMSA to... back to Formula One. But... if we were going just off... Like, if Formula... Caution's out for what? Yeah, I don't... I assume debris. There's so many damaged cars. I really wanted to get to green flag pit stops, though, because I felt that was about to get super interesting. Well, here you go. You're going to come back probably green with about 28, 30 to go. The biggest thing I miss about NBC is Late Iffy. Like, legit generational talent on the mic. Like, I think the production tonight has been pretty good. At least by Fox standards. Like, no one's actively wrecking, so I don't see the point in cutting out of the commercial. Since it's side by side. Because every side by side commercial you do now is one that you don't have to do later. But, and like, what's the point in going from side by side just to go watch the yellow? Is this our view next week? In Atlanta? Like, oh my goodness, the banking. The banking in this commercial for Atlanta is insane. They're just like, oh, what angle do you want it at? Okay, 45 degrees. Okay. I really wonder. I wonder if someone here is going to go no tires. Go no tires, fuel only, pull a Lightning McQueen, and just try to get to the front of this pack. Because I think if you get to the front, it's easier to stay there than it is going to be than actually get out. Like, judging by how good Keselowski's car was. And that's big because he'll have Blaney behind him. So, Cindric can come out first, choose the bottom, and then choose. And Blaney can do it. Honestly, the biggest difference tonight's not like the horsepower. Like, there's some skill involved with the with like the drivers and everything and the super speedway package. It's been the pit crews because track position's been so hard to come by. Like, you're seeing Justin Haley P1, Hocevar and Haley stayed out. Bowman really got. Bowman's all the way back at 21st now. Really bad night for Trackhouse, though. Yeah, we've got at least 3 more cautions. Okay, there they go. We are no longer riding the Dintec. How far back are they hooked up, though? That's the problem. Okay, yeah, and if they can hook up on the outside, they can try to make a third lane work because they have enough. They have enough raw power. Those RFK cars do to make a third lane. Harley J. Earl Trophy. Wait, Haley's still in third? That's interesting. Okay, yeah, no, that's a Fox error then. Which, not even really a Fox. Okay, yeah, Haley's still being scored third, but yeah, he's not there. Okay. There it goes. Green flag. Let's see if. Yep, there goes Brad drifting up in front. They're gonna go on the third lane. They're gonna wait until the turn. My good Byron is so fast, pushing. Yeah, we're about to see how good Bubba Wallace actually is because he's got 2 sets of teammates behind him who are bad fast. He's gonna have Keselowski and Brad here soon. The RFK cars. 35 left to go. And now you're starting to see that third line form. RFK. Cindric's going to take the lead on the bottom side. Going to be a big push here out of the turn 3 for Kyle Busch into Blaney into Cindric. Cindric takes the lead. Now Elliott jumps up to the high side. Byron jumping up with him. Let's see where Bubba goes right here. Yeah, right now, low line. There's no need to hurry if you're in the top 3 rows. Right now. Whoa, big run there by Nemechek. He's going to jump up in front of Bubba. Completely disintegrates that middle lane. I wouldn't be shocked if Busch makes a. Oh, he's got Austin behind him. So Hmm. Here we go, bottom line. I think we're going to ride around for about 15 more laps ish. Typically, like, they're all just trying to make up position. There's not a lot of passing um, in this era of car. Allgaier jumping ship down that. That almost caused something. Woo, but Wallace is so loose. We'll see if anyone has anything for the two Penske's. Oh, I thought Reddick was about to go with his teammate there. Yeah, neither the middle or the top lane can get going really right now. It's just not organized enough. Everyone's wanting to move forward, but they're not wanting to push. So, yeah, Blaney and Cindric are going to be here at the end, just whether or not they wreck each other first. Yep, all you needed was Boss Man. There he goes. Stenhouse thought about it, saw who was in his rearview mirror, and thought better. Oh no. If Kyle Busch runs out of fuel in the Daytona 500, that's got to be like the most heartbreaking thing, right? Scenario for anybody. Okay, Penske's, then the RCR guys, followed up by a mix of different Toyota Fords. Yeah, so teammates in the first two lanes, and first two pairings, and then you've got Herbst and Bell, who are pretty much teammates. They sit in on the same meetings, so we're gonna just keep riding around for a little bit. I don't. They're not going to really push hard because there's no need to at the moment. Like at least not if you're leading one of these packs or if you're near the front. Like Priest though here, Priest is about to is going to get agitated because he's got a long way to go. A lot of cars in front of him, and there's only 26 laps left. So, whoa. Corey LaJoy, guess who? Ricky Spinhouse Jr. and Corey LaJoy almost stacking pennies, stacking the whole darn pack up, man. That's like the gotta be the most terrifying thing, right? If you're in like this 200 mile per hour pack, is you see Stenhouse get together with LaJoy. That's terrifying. Oh, and Nemechek too. Nemechek's almost started a few. He actually did start one. Never mind. Yeah, the bottom lane just is dominant at the moment. We'll see. It'll change. They're not going to ride like this the whole way. There's just not enough cars in the top two lanes to get going. I've been impressed with Justin Allgaier though. Like that's the guy. If you do want to go cup racing, um, but or if Dale Jr. wants to go cup racing, that's the guy. Like, he was fantastic in the 600 in relief of Larson last year. I can pretty much, I think I can pretty accurately tell you where the big one's going to come from. It's where that orange car meets that red and black car. Ooh, boy, Eric Jones. This might be enough to start getting that middle lane going. Whoa! Stenhouse, man. Like, I know he didn't do that. Like, I know he just jumped back behind LaJoy because he felt the momentum going. He's probably going to jump right back here in front of Eric Jones, but they've been able to run three lanes all night. It's just as soon as he gets down to crunch time, they haven't been able to, which sucks. Which that's just because no one's fuel saving anymore. Everyone's full throttle. So We're about to wreck though. Like they're so. I'm interested. Like they're mentioning, like Blaney was able to push Cindric out too far. I wonder if Cindric falls for that again. Oh, Noah Gregson. It's gonna take like 3 or 4 guys from the bottom lane moving into that middle or top lane to make this work. Kyle Busch is thinking about it. Here we go. I will say, I think Dylan would push Busch to the win. He's already got one of these things. So, or he's already got a win in the 500, and Busch desperately needs this. Like, I know it's pretty much every man for himself in this race, but I get the feeling that Austin would push Kyle instead of trying to pass him. I do not think Blaney's going to stick with Cindric. He's going to remember what happened 3 years ago. Like, I think Blaney will push him to the white. I don't think he's going to push him to the checkered. Now, here we go. Corey LaJoie being pushed by Ryan Stenhouse Jr. in the middle lane. Logano now surging in the top lane. Gets a push from Nemechek. He's going to have a pretty decent run coming off of turn 4. That's blocked by Stenhouse. Now, Corey LaJoie to the lead. Cindric there at the line. Now, Blaney pushing Cindric. 15 now left to go here on the high banks of Daytona. Blaney. Big run there by Logano on the top side. Logano goes middle. Gets into Stenhouse. Stenhouse saves it just barely. We're still swirly. Blaney's back up, and there goes Blaney. There goes Logano. Big wreck behind. Logano pushed too hard. And Stenhouse would not let him go. Corey LaJoie is your leader. That's all Logano. Like, as much as I'd like to blame Stenhouse, that's Logano. That's all Logano. Oh, man. No. I think every one of my cars that I picked in fantasy just got torn up. Or not every one of them, but most of them did. Because I had Gregson. Well, it was both of them. Yeah, you're right. It was, he should have let Logano go. But yeah, Logano's torn up. My goodness. What's the line, or what's the one from I Can Still Race? Yeah, that's what Logano's doing right now. Oop, 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 bam. Right back into the wall. And we got to change our graphic over to our 7th caution of the night. Okay, so Stenhouse. Logano gets a run here. Stenhouse attempts to block the high side. Logano goes for, yeah, that's on Stenhouse. Stenhouse never had the momentum there to block it. Logano could have kept it, but then he tried to fit a car in the middle. Then Stenhouse comes back. So it's a right rear off of Logano. But I don't know. It's everyone being aggressive. Logano didn't have the uh, Logano shouldn't have made that second move. He should have tucked in behind Stenhouse, but Stenhouse should have never even attempted the block because he did not have a run. And then Logano just turned him. So Kyle Busch got taken out in that too. Chase Elliott. Like you're gonna have to come down pit road and get tires at least for both of those guys, even if there's no damage. I don't know how many. If Jimmy wins, is there a bet that you'd make if Jimmy wins, like that for me to do it at Lamar Speedway? Because he's not winning. Like within reason. Also, is the Rizzler going to be in victory lane? Like that's just something that I think is fun to think about. Like, just imagine Corey LaJoy. Corey LaJoy wins, and then the Rizzler makes an appearance. Yeah, what's funnier, Jimmy winning or LaJoy winning? After LaJoy lost his ride. All I ask though at this point is I want to end this race under green. Look at Logano's stupid glasses. Yeah, I keep having a third viewer kind of pop in um, every now and then. Like I'm just staring at the analytics. I'm not even staring at OBS anymore because that way I can like actually see the chat. Let's see. I picked Todd Gilliland, Blaney, Gregson. So, and so I only lost 3 cars in that. Is there a bunch of damage to Keselowski, or did he just, or to Brad, or did he just basically kiss the back end of Blaney or Logano? It might be in poor taste, but with the next gen car, their heads bump around so much. I want a bobblehead of like any of the drivers inside the car, and their heads are in their little Hans device pillow, and it's just shaking like that, like Justine from earlier tonight. I would be imagine like getting like a full size model of the priest car that wrecked, so it's like clear there, so you could have it suspended in the air with the hood pointed at the ground. Whoa, there! That's gonna end up on a certain account. I love the piece of debris that just immediately flies off Blaney's car. Man, I'm so glad this era of NASCAR's back. The duct tape and the bear bond. I ain't nobody pitting. Like you're not pitting if you're in the front in a few rows. The only reason you pit is if you think that there's going to be another wreck, and you want to get some fresh tires to avoid it. Well, everybody lost their teammate. Everybody lost their pusher. So I mean, by the time we get By the time we get going green, though, I mean, it's going to be probably, 7 to go at the earliest? It's just really funny to imagine Corey LaJoy, who almost didn't even make it in the duel. Like, he only had it at the last lap over Alfredo. Here we go. It'll be 8 to go when we hit the line. Corey LaJoy leads the pack into the tri-oval. Green, green, green. Okay, LaJoy goes up to block Cindric and Hamlin. Cindric pinballs into LaJoy. LaJoy can handle it. Now, big run on the outside. Bell handling it now. Ooh, Cindric basically jukes out LaJoy. And that'll get him out of the lead. Now, Cindric, Hamlin, and Bell behind him. Riley Herbst. That would be a story. Cole Custer. A lot of underdogs. Tyler. I almost said Tyler Algier. Justin Allgaier makes a move, trying to start up the third lane. He doesn't have anyone with him, though. We'll see. I think Bell will go with Hamlin, but I don't think he'll push him to the checkered. That's where it's going to end up. A little bit of a 4-car breakaway here on the bottom. Custer's going to be the next to get it. He's going to get a bit of a run, and here goes Hamlin and Bell to the middle. And now we get to see what Denny Hamlin does best. Six to go now. Denny Hamlin in the lead. We're about to see a run from Bell into turn 1. Not enough. Hamlin's still in the lead. Bell goes wide, gets pushed by Custer. He manages to save it. That would have wrecked probably half of the field. Now Bell to the lead. But here's going to be another push from Austin Cindric. Should be a big run for Hamlin going into turn 3. And Bell's going to get a run coming out of turn 4 into the tri-oval. Well, maybe here we go. Here's going to be Hamlin. Hamlin's going to get it now going into the tri-oval. Hamlin, 5 to go. Still no third lane. Hamlin and Bell still lead the field. Whoa, Bell gets hooked by Custer into the field. Now he goes back. Priest, not again. Not Ryan Priest. Not again, Ryan. My goodness, buddy. That one wasn't as bad as the first time you took a tumble, but I think we brought it on with the Priest bobblehead joke. Ooh, man, Bell is tore up. That was a shot, though, for Bell into the corner. Custer just pushed him at the wrong part of the track. Keselowski, he's going to come down the pit lane. He just got some major damage. This is going to go to a red flag, I think, for maybe a little bit. And then there's the last Trackhouse car standing. Custer pushing. They hit a pocket of air because you can see how Hamlin is on Cindric's bumper. They side draft and Bell just gets loose. I don't think Custer turned him. And then right back into it and a blowover for Ryan Preece. No, it's never the front end that gets in the air like that. Like that's a wild ride. And he had nothing to do with it. It just came and bounced back into him. Whoa. He did a wheelie. It's like when you take like a four-wheeler and you lean back and do a wheelie. That's what happened. Yeah, that is a scary wreck. Like, it's because something happened very similar at Bowman and Gray last week with Gilps. Like, the front end came off the ground, and the same thing with Bell into the wall, and then it just got on top of Eric Jones, and Eric Jones still driving at 170, 160 miles an hour, just enough momentum to get underneath it and flip it. But yeah, no, that's not supposed to happen. That one wasn't nearly as bad of a wreck as what he suffered a few years ago here. But that one wasn't fun. Like, he drove a solid, probably, 300 feet on two wheels, popped in the air, and then he finally flipped over. But then the back came up, and he ended up on top of the safer barrier there for a second. So, whee! Oh my goodness. Oh no, here we go. Here's the bobblehead look. Oh no, that's awful. Like, at some point, like, obviously they're tough, and they were talking about this during the rain delay. Like, they expect to go into wreck. They wreck whenever they grow up racing cars, but like, Priest has blown over probably more than anybody else in the sport. So, yeah, huge hit there for Christopher Bell, and then right back in. Yeah, they're gonna have to do something though, because that happened to Bowman Gray. The car's popping into the air in the front, and then it creates when that little panel came loose. It created more drag. That created lift. I assume we're under red. We haven't actually seen. Yeah, we're under red. Yeah, it's like Superman, like flying through the air on like when back in some of the like stuff before animation got really good. Like that's how it looked. It looked yeah, it's very odd. Did that window come loose as well? That's a this is gonna be a hard hit for Christopher Bell. Ooh. Bam. Now there's going to be odds in some Vegas. Here we go. We have to play it. Bam. Well, that was Talladega. That was a Daytona. But yeah, Priest has wrecked a lot of these super speedways. Honestly, like that was the flashiest one. The most dangerous one is where he hit Larson at like 210 or 205 at Talladega on the backstretch, and it just shredded both of their cars. Like it went through Larson's door, and then they made the adjustment. So Priest made the pretty much did it to himself here because it's his fault that the car is now blows over that way. Like, that's a weird one because Custer didn't even move. Like it's like Bell just snapped loose because Custer didn't turn him. Good grief. Yeah, there's Bubba. I still think like it was the wreck right before Priest's won at Daytona in the summer race 2 years ago. Ryan Blaney hit the wall. It looked like the exact same one that killed Dale Earnhardt, and his car fell apart. And we're like, "Oh my goodness, that's awful!" And no one remembers that wreck because Priest went barrel rolling. But yeah, very similar. Okay, we are back under yellow. What an interesting top 10. Honestly, Cole Custer. I think Cole Custer would be like that perfect amount of feel good and like actually deserves it. But we'll see. Briscoe's back up there. I think LaJoy would be hilarious, but and also LaJoy doesn't affect the playoffs because he's only a part-time guy. So, my goodness. I've got too much stuff to fidget with on my desk. Between like my microphone stand here, and then I've got like some pucks to play around with. Like one that's actually like this like Ilya Kovalchuk one. That's like memorabilia, but then like I can twist there. Just so much stuff. Yeah, it's such a weird wreck. Like we've been watching it now for 20 minutes, so we don't even know what else to say. Just here we go to the flag in overtime. Green, white, checkered. Hamlin. Now, big run by Cindric. Oh, Hamlin goes to block just enough, pulls back out. And now Custer is going to push Cindric right by Hamlin. Here comes, is he going to have enough gas? But Austin Dillon is trying to make a move on the outside. No one's going with him. Custer, not enough there. Swirly. Bowman, very swirly in the draft. Here comes Riley Herbst. Cindric blocks up top. We're coming to the flag. White flag. Next flag ends it, and Herbst Cubs. If he doesn't come back into the crowd, okay, no caution, no caution. We're back. We're still good. Bowman shuffles out. Hamlin chasing Cindric. They've got too far of a lead back up on the rest of the field. They're gonna. Here comes Custer. Hamlin goes to block the top lane. Custer gets pushed to the lane. He's got help behind him. They're wrecking. Corey LaJoy, Hamlin back in. Who's in front? It's William Byron. Are you kidding me? Still no caution light. Still no caution light. There's a chance for Reddick right here coming around. Reddick's going to have one last shot at the tri-oval, and no, William Byron wins back-to-back Daytona 500s. Crazy. Jimmie Johnson third. What? Justin Allgaier comes home ninth. Really good night for the open cars, in all honesty, except for Helio Castroneves. Hamlin's torn up. Between Allgaier, LaJoie had, oh man, Custer is. Gibbs couldn't do. That was a relatively contained wreck, but beautiful car. That'll look nice in victory lane. And I would prefer him to win like that compared to the way he won last year, where he basically calls the big wreck and then benefits. Hamlin goes for it. Cindric protects the inside. So they have a gap. Now you have momentum. Custer comes out here. He tries to make the lane to take it wide. Briscoe stays with Hamlin. They all get bunched up. And Custer just takes the field with him. Wow. I told y'all. I said this earlier. The Chevys rarely deserve to win this event, but they always find a way to win somehow. Like, the Hendrick Chevys always seem to never, whenever they win this thing, they never deserve to. That's our first repeat Daytona winner, the Daytona or Talladega winner in the next gen era. So I still don't know how Byron made it through that, though. That's a crazy. That was a good one. Well, I'm gonna end the stream there. I want to try to do this for at least like events I care about, either like big races. I'll do it for some Braves games, some NFL college football games, Falcons, stuff like that. Falcons, probably SEC or any big college football games. If Canada makes it back in Wednesday night, if Canada plays the U.S. again in Boston for the Four Nations final, I will stream that and be cheering heavily for Team USA if you want to come join me. So, okay, it was fun. And yeah, didn't feel as Mickey Mouse as it was last year. So, okay, I'll talk to you later. See ya.